Hey guys, my name is Connie Bandari, and tonight I'll be making an Indian cuisine for my family. For starters, I'm going to be making an Indian traditional dish called bel puri, and then for the main meal, I'm going to be making rice, fried abri, and an Indian curry called dal. Lastly, for dessert, I'm going to be baking ghirardelli brownies with vanilla frosting and sprinkles. Alright, let's begin! So for the appetizer, we're going to be making an Indian dish called bel puri. And what you're going to be needing is bel mix, which could be found at your local Indian store. And also, you're going to be needing this chutney called Bombay bel puri, which also can be found at your local Indian store. And other than that, you're going to be needing 2 onions and 2 tomatoes. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut the onions now. And you're actually going to slice them. So let me just cut these 2 in half. And then after that, we're going to be cutting them like this. Alright, and then gather it up again. And then you're kind of going to be dicing them into really small pieces because you're going to be eating these pieces in the bel mix. Alright. Now, next one. And keep doing this to all 4 pieces. What you're going to do is you're going to take them all and then dump it into the bel mix, like that. Okay. And then once you're done with that, you're going to be taking the tomatoes and doing the same thing. You're going to cut it in half, like that. And then you're going to be cutting them into really small pieces. So, like this. Okay, and then again, you're going to be taking all the sliced tomatoes, like you did with the onions, and you're going to be dumping it in there. Now, for this next part, you want to make sure that your hands are clean, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking the chutney and we're going to put 2 teaspoons into the mix. And after that, we're going to be mixing with our hands. Okay, so I'm taking 1 and 2. Nice. Okay. And now, what we're going to do is, I think it needs a little bit more. Okay, now what we're going to do is take your hands and you're just going to squish everything together. Kind of mixing it. Instead of it's more efficient to use your hands than to use a spoon. So that's why I use your hands.
Mix it really well.
Now, for the next part of our entire family dinner, I'm going to be starting on the entrees. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the rice first. And while the rice is cooking, we can make the fried abri and the dal. So what I have here is we put our entire, all the rice in this tub. And I'm going to put 2 cups of rice. And rice can be found at your local grocery store. And this is a pot that cooks rice, and we have a rice cooker, and that can be found at any kitchenware store or department store that sells kitchenware. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm putting 2 cups of rice in here, and 2 cups feeds generally about 4 people, which is the size of my family. So, just getting that in there. Okay. Then next, what we're going to do is let's go head over to the sink to wash the rice. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to put 2.5 cups for every cup that we put in. And because we put in 2 cups of rice in here, we're going to have to put in 5 cups of water. So that was 1 cup. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Okay. And now what I do is I make sure that the bottom of the pot is not wet, because when you put it in the rice cooker, it might burn or something. So I wipe it nice and clean. Okay. And then what I do is I take this and I put it right in here. put the lid on it so that the steam is not everywhere. And then I put the plug in, and all I have to do is switch this down. And I put it to cook, and when it pops up to warm, that's when I take it out and the rice is ready. Next, after you put the rice in the rice cooker to become soft and tender, we're going to be starting on our main dish, which is the dal. And what we're going to do is you first are going to need to buy tur dal, and that could be found at your local Indian store, and also you're going to be needing a pressure cooker. And what you do is you take 1 cup of tur dal and you put it in the pressure cooker. Now let's go head on to the sink because we have to add 1.5 cups of water also. Let's go. What we're going to do is we're going to put 1.5 cups water for 1 cup of tur dal, okay? So that's 1, and yep, that's half. And then after that, we're going to take this and put it straight on the stove. Alright, let's go add some more ingredients. Now while the tur dal is boiling on the stove, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up the vegetables. You're going to need 5 normal sized tomatoes or like 8, medium slash small sized tomatoes. And then you're going to need about like 12 to 15 mirchi, which is basically hot green pepper. And it depends, like 15 is if you really want spicy, 12 is if you want spicy but not that bad. And I have 3 garlic. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut. What you do is you cut the tomato in half to cut it, and then you're going to cut it horizontally and then vertically. Again, you want to cut it into like really small pieces because this is what you're going to be biting in the entire curry. Once you're done cutting all the tomatoes, we're going to start cutting the hot chili green pepper. How you cut the hot chili green pepper is first you cut off the top like that, then you have to cut off the bottom. Then you turn it long ways, and then you cut it straight down the middle long ways. Like that. And then you put those 2 pieces together again, and then you cut it horizontally. Again, you cut off the top, and then the bottom, and move those off to the side. And then you cut it long ways, and then you cut it sideways. And keep doing that until you finish all. Then you take the garlic and you have to peel off the outer shell so that all you're left with is the good stuff. So I'm just going to quickly peel these off, and then we're going to go cut the garlic. I'm going to show you how to cut the garlic. What you want to do is you want to cut it long ways like that, and then cut it horizontally. And move those pieces to the side. Long ways, and then sideways. And then one last time. Long ways, and then sideways. And then from here, what you do is just use your knife and chop them so that they become really, really, really tiny. Okay, now let's go add all these ingredients to our dal. Now all I did was I took all the vegetables and I put them in here, and now I'm going to put the lid on top. And make sure that the handle is not towards the outside so that like when somebody walks by it doesn't spill over. Make sure it's turned to the side, okay? And then you're going to take this and you're going to put it on top. And what you're going to do now is wait like 10 minutes, and then you're just going to hear this blow 3 times. As soon as you hear 3 whistles, you're going to turn off the stove. In this bowl there's some oil, and then some dried red chilies, and then some cumin seeds and turmeric powder. Now lastly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put half a tablespoon of salt. Okay. And I have to just mix it in with this. And then I'm going to take all this and also put it in there and then just mix it up, alright? Alright, so I just poured everything into here, that entire mixture that I made, and I'm just going to be stirring it.